Political reporter Rick Albin asked Michigan Congressman Dan Kildee about the impact that this could have on local families.
Here's Rick's interview.
Over in the House, the end of last week, you passed a pretty good size COVID relief plan, and some of that will ultimately become part of the plan. Some of it will not. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Obviously, you did it with only Democratic votes. Can you talk to me about the plan that the House passed? What was in it from your perspective that makes it a good plan for the American taxpayer?
Well, the biggest element of it is the fact that it not only is a COVID relief plan in the sense that it deals with the health aspects of recovery, crushing this virus, making sure that we have the mechanisms to protect workers while they're in the workplace, deliver vaccine, dealing with the health challenge. And also the economic crisis that is the natural sort of result of the adjustments that we've made in the economy in order to protect people. And so the real benefit of this package is that it doesn't pick one or the other. It addresses both the health needs and the really profound economic needs of business, of families, of local governments, and does it in a way that is equal to the scale of the problem. And I think, other than perhaps getting something done on infrastructure, this will be the most fundamental aspect of our recovery from COVID.
So talk about some of those things. We know about some of the things directly related to individuals and vaccine rollout and some of that. Tell me about some of the other things, the things that you see as economic stimulus.
Well, certainly supporting state and local governments that have been hit pretty hard by the whole pandemic. I mean, and it is a bit uneven across the states, we get that, but what we've seen is increased pressure on state and local government budgets, and in some cases pretty significant losses in terms of revenue. Like, for example, in Michigan, where we have a pretty significant reliance on sales tax and income tax, when we had a lot of people out of work because of COVID and a lot of decreased purchasing, particularly in the business sector, there was a pretty significant loss. That's a big piece of it. I think the other elements, though, deal with making sure that people can't lose their homes or get evicted from their apartments because of the loss of income related to COVID. This bill provides direct support for tenants, direct support for people who are purchasing their home through a mortgage, to keep people from being evicted at a time when they really can't, obviously, manage their own home finances because of what they're facing. It's a really comprehensive bill. There's a lot in it. Those are some of the elements that I think are least well understood because it's not the things that people talk about for the most part.
Congressman, as always, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rick.
You can watch Rick's full wrap-up of the COVID relief vote and reaction this weekend on To The Point. That's Saturday evening at 7:30 and Sunday morning at 10.